nice hot coffee, and some...
Hello fellow readers, I'm Kato from Carcajou Studio, and today I'm showing you my 2022 reading recap and flipping through all my 2022 book journal pages. So this is my 2022 cover page. As you can see, I really went with a golden and black, and in the later pages you'll see the pink and purples. I really wanted to go with these black and white vintage looking stickers from Sticky Club and simple black, white and gold washi tapes, and I also used a lot of watercolors in this year's theme. So first we've got my What I Read in 2022 spread with all of the books that I read in 2022. And here you can see what I had to do in order to be able to actually write out all of my books. Pull out a page from another one of my journals and added it into this envelope, and then stuck that envelope right into my journal. Doesn't help with the thickness of my journal, let's just say that. So here we have one spread that I didn't use very much over the past year, the books hauled spread. I was hoping it would help me haul less books. In actuality, what it did is I was making bigger hauls because I was like, well, if I'm gonna write it down in my book, might as well do my best, do my worst, however you want to look at it, and write them down. So this is something I've definitely decided I'm not bringing forward. The goal was to always stay under 20 books. As you can see, I failed that. Most of the books I read are actually audiobooks, so I didn't count audiobooks in my physical hauls, and this was just physical hauls too, so overall it just doesn't make sense for me. And here you've got my reading goals for the 2022 year. The Read the 4 craft books, I honestly don't know why I didn't manage to do that, because I do love reading craft books. And then read 7 herbology books was more like books about gardening, as well as the secret life of plants, or the meanings of plants in the Victorian era. Only read one of those, and it's not really one of my interests anymore, so scrap that for the coming year. And then my goal was to read 3 nonfiction books, and I obviously read way more than that. And then back 6 Kickstarters. I always love to back comic book Kickstarters specifically. Also went way over that, so I'm happy about that. And then the little read 100 books there, which I went way over with my total of 133. Now we're starting into the spreads I did over the years. So the first 2 I made were Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune and A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsky. How I make spreads throughout the year is mostly just books and series that I gave 5 stars to and want to remember and am feeling inspired by. Here we've got a spread for the Daevabad trilogy, which I absolutely adored. I still haven't read The River of Silver, but that's definitely something I want to do soon. Then Finding Home by Harry Connor, which is one of my favorite comic book series. It's just so beautiful. And this story is so touching. These are stickers I got with the Kickstarter for the last book, actually. Here we've got my 2022 mid-year freakout, which I filmed and never posted on YouTube. I did enjoy doing it though. It's something I really like to do regardless of whether or not I end up posting it, because I just feel like it gives me a good idea of what I've read so far and what do I want to read next, and how do I want to recenter my reading for the months to come. And here we have another spread that I made and never posted on YouTube, which is new releases I'm excited for in the second half of 2022. And then I divided it into 6 categories. So 1 translation, 2 new graphic novels, 3 graphic novel sequels, then 4 novel sequels, 5 novels by authors I love but that weren't direct sequels, and then 6 novels by new to me authors. I thought it was like a fun concept, even though by the time I actually finished making this page and editing the video, it was way too late in the year to even consider posting it. I do think the page looks great though, with like these are flowers that I started growing in my garden this summer. These are tulips and these are violas. Here we've got a page for the Imperial Ratch trilogy by Anne Leckie. I actually had planned to use a different paper here and then forgot I had picked another paper, but that's okay. It looks fine anyway. I love how different this one looks compared to the other pages I made. You can feel that it's not the same vibes as other pages, right? And then the Broken Earth series, which was another one of my favorites this year. And then here we've got Hell Followed With Us, which was honestly, I think, my favorite novel of the year. Well, not I think, it was my favorite novel of the year, by Andrew Joseph White. There was just so much queer rage written in such a realistic and beautiful way. I absolutely loved this. And A Master of Gin, which I also loved. And also The World is absolutely fascinating. And we're already at my 2022 reading wrap-up pages. So I read 133 books in the past year with an average rating of 3.7 stars. And I don't keep very many stats, but I do like looking at how many stars I gave to reads over the past year, because I want to make sure that I'm not reading stuff I dislike for no reason at all. So there was one book that I kept unrated, which was a travel guide for a country we traveled to this year. And then we have 2.25% 1 stars, 9.75% 2 stars, 26.25% 3 stars, 38.5% 4 stars, and 22.5% 5 stars, which I find is a reasonable amount of each. Favorite novel, like I said before, was Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. My favorite nonfiction was The Science of Sci-Fi by Aaron McDonald. And my favorite graphic novel was DPS Only by Xiao Tong, also known as Valency Online. And then the other stats that Goodreads counts. So the most popular book you read, so the one that has the most shelves, was Circe. And the least popular, so the one with the least times it was shelved, was Finding Home Volume 4 by Harry Connor. The longest book I read was The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, and the shortest was A Dead Gin and Carol by P. Jelly Clark, which was actually the predecessor to A Master of Gin. Then the book with the highest rating, according to Goodreads, was Finding Home Volume 4 by Harry Connor. This is actually something that happens quite often, where I back a lot of Kickstarters and buy a lot of independent comics that have very few ratings, but they're very highly rated by the people who love them. So I'm not surprised at all that the highest rating and the least popular are actually the same book. And then lowest rating is a big surprise to me, actually. It was Nothing But Black and Teeth by Cassandra Khaw. I went in expecting nothing at all, and honestly, I enjoyed it. It was 4-star read for me. And the fact that I think it's 2.75 stars, was actually a huge surprise to me, because it was enjoyable, even though it wasn't a perfect book, but it was fun. I loved it. Well, not love. I enjoyed it. Then I listed out all of the books I own that I want to read next year. This is kind of my answer to the fact that the whole books hauled thing didn't really work out for me. So I listed all 26 books that I physically own here and that I hadn't read already. And here I listed all 19 audiobooks that I own on Audible and haven't read yet. And we're already on the last page of 2022. So my Kickstarters read and book club books page. So I actually only read 4 Kickstarters this year because I tend to read Kickstarters as soon as I receive them. And I didn't receive very many Kickstarters this year, despite backing quite a few. I'm assuming I will be receiving quite a few Kickstarters over the next year, so I will definitely be making up for this next year. And then the book club books, I divided into which book clubs asked for which books. So the one with the most here is actually just I call it the Cat and Max book club. It's me and my partner. We pick books that we read together at the same time, and then we talk about it. It's a lot of fun to do. I really recommend it if you have a partner who enjoys reading as well, because it gives you something to talk about that isn't just like complaining about work or talking about your hobbies. Or I just really enjoy reading with Max. And then I have the Valley Book Club, which is from a Discord I'm in. I organized a book club for about 6 months, and then I guess I just gave up because I was on vacation for a while. I could bring it back next year, actually. And we read 3 books there. And then the Queer Graphic Novel Book Club is from Spooky Hall on YouTube as well. And I read a few of her books that she picked for her book club at another moment, so they're not all here. I only really mentioned the books that I read for a book club that I picked up for a book club here. And then the LGBT SFF Hive Mind Book Club, same thing. I didn't pick all of them up because some of them I had already read, and also some of them weren't as audiobooks, and I know myself I would not have read a physical book. And then the Crossover Comics Book Club, I only went to once. It's an in-person book club, and it's just that getting to an in-person book club is just so much harder. So that's it for my 2022 book spreads. And then I've got 2023 right here. I just like to keep all of my years in the same book, which is why I'm continuing in the second half of this book this year. Let me know in the comments below which was your favorite spread. If you want to see more of my book journal, like this video and subscribe to my channel for more bookish and artistic content. Thanks for watching.